I got a couple hours before I need to do some work meetings. I'm gonna do a little bit more dev here. I think we can finish up the universe rehoming logic. I'm gonna actually delete this, duplicate this for Y, duplicate for Z, and this should be pretty easy. Updated major axis is Y. Updated minor axis is Y. X. Here. X. Here. Y. Y. I think that's it. Y, major, minor, save file, and then here, likewise, wait, shit. Rename this as Z. This as Y. Something like that, and then we can just Y was updated. Z needs updates. Major, minor, major, minor, major, minor. All right, save that, compile. So we finish these functions. Right, these are the actual location vectors. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Wait, what are we doing here? Scene universe to universe unit plus the value so the max scale plus the current location if we pass the max scale. And those were both from X's, so now we would have minus would it just be, it would just be I don't think I need this for this calculation. I think it's literally just delete this, delete this, delete this. Alright. World origin location is going to be equivalent to if we have decreased under the minimum times 2 times -2. Okay. This is set world origin, get world origin location. Let's struct pin and C, Y, and C, like that. Get rid of this. -2, +2, X, Z, X, Z, -1 and 1. Okay. Likewise, same thing except for Z this time. Here and here, and then we pack in this into the Z, this into the Z, this into the Y, and the Y, this into the X, and the X. All right, and then finally these. Oops, oopsie. Again, -1, just 1. Okay, now. Universe. String. actually, let's just... Should have done the first time I did the 2-string, but we'll fix it now. Oops. So what we actually want is this, this, delete all this, I do need to go here and make this a single. There it is. All right. So now we can come back here. Reorigin. Reorigin start. And at the start, we have user camera location. And the current coordinate. Universe coordinate to string. Append this. Okay. Now, I need to. How do we want to do this? Well, let's just try it. First, we go over here, change the Starfield distance increment. What is that? No, it's in here. Change this value. Let's go with a clean 10 million and see what happens. Okay, so this is, okay, stop. Happening every time. We don't want that. Oops. Starfield. Oh, shit. How did that happen? -1. I lost a bunch of stuff. Oh, I see. X, Y, Z, Z? Something like that. Jesus Christ. Okay. Clearly, something's going wrong here. So let's see what this is doing again. This is 10 million. And this is 10 million minus. Oh, okay. That's my fault. All the less thans. Wait, no. It's such a pain. Less than. Alright, so first things first. Let's take all of this logic that we have kind of baked in and move it a bit. Then this is the world location stuff. This can move down a bit. Okay, so now what do we have? We have this being split. So let's take a look. X goes here. If it's less than negative scene units to universe unit, negative 10 million, we trigger. If it's greater than positive 10 million, we trigger. Can I actually... Let's move all of this over a bit. Really just want to look at the conditionals here. A is greater than B. A in this case is the Y value of the camera location. B in this case is the full value of this. just gonna do this. String. I'm gonna figure out which of these if blocks is fucked up. Or if they're all fucked up and I just have some huge misunderstanding of what I'm doing here. Three. Is it only three? Three. Okay, it's three. So we messed up three. So three is right here. This. Aha! That'll do it. This many wires makes my eyeballs cross. Okay, now, hopefully we should only be getting the message when we cross our thresholds. Let's try. Come on, work. Okay, that's good. I think it's working as far as like the we'll see when we cross 499 on the X. Yeah, okay. It's mostly working. It's close. print out the world origin after this has happened. I also want to check on work. Okay, looks good. Accounting teams working on midsap. Yep. Yep, we'll do it in just a minute. Alright, so I need to do some work shit here in a second, but so let's try. Okay, I need to fill out some timesheets. Give me a second. Do the two-factor tango. Go. 9399. From 9. Yep. this. Submit. Dashboard, and we're on the 22nd now. Should be okay. We're just always gonna print string. Now we should just always see our location. We can see if it changes properly the first time the way we expected it to or not. $2 million. It did work. It worked exactly the way I thought it was supposed to. But it didn't work the second time. Wait. It did work the second time. It didn't work the third, like it didn't actually origin it. Okay. UE5 reset gen location only does not work on second call. Lame. So the world origin works exactly like I thought it did the first time I call it. But calling it again fails. So let's go ahead and do some stuff. We can break this. We know it was working the first time. We can go to our scene units to universe unit, and let's try bumping it up so that it doesn't occur as quickly. So we go, we pump the gas. Gotta travel 40 million units. Okay. 40 million, we rebased. Now when I hit 80 million, it's going to start, or 40 million again. I have to actually travel 80 million units this time because we were rebased to negative 40 million, right? But then it doesn't work. And now it's just decrementing every time. Set world origin location. UE5 set world origin location only works on the first call. Fuck. Maybe that's the problem. Alright, so we just replace these with int vectors one by one. That should make this a lot simpler. Here, here, here. Okay. And here. This is basically the same. It's just going to clean up the code a little bit and make it a little bit more readable. Oh, is it like control? The first time this has actually been useful to me. Wait, why am I double truncating? All right, okay. Let's see. X. First we do this, then we'll clean it up with all these truncates. I want everything hooked up properly first. Okay. Try to make this all a little bit more readable too. All right. Okay, so this value goes here. Delete this. And this value goes here. This value goes here. This value here. X to X, Y to Y. Delete any broken link truncates. Delete any. This is what this is. This is Y. This one's valid. There will be 6 valid truncates. It's these 6. And this is not valid. This is not valid. This is not valid. Any disconnected wires hook into their counterparts here. Okay, great. Now, bring this guy on down here, and then something like that. Okay. Something like that. clean all this up just a bit, make it a little bit easier to understand what's going on, because obviously it's complicated. Roundabouts right there. Vector 3 float, seniors, university. Let's keep these processes separate. Then pull that out way over here. This is just the player's location by their camera. And these are the min and max values to check against. Okay, that looks a lot better. It's still not going to work, but it does look better. So let's make this value the full value. Ah, spaghetti. Yes. Must forget. It wouldn't happen to be like a Tim and Eric fan. We're working on the reorigining. We have it working once, but after it works once, it doesn't work the second time, and I don't know why. So watch our X value here as we transit through space. Boop. Alright, we reorigined. And now we're positively moving through from the negative side of things. So all of that, I believe, is correct. And when we pass 80 million again, you're going to see that we start triggering the reorigin, but it doesn't actually reorigin. And that's what I don't know yet. It seems like that call only works the first time I call it. Boom. And now our local space coordinates are going nuts because we're triggering the event every time because we didn't actually reorigin, so our X value is over the threshold. But it worked at least once, which is progress. The other fun thing to point out that we got working before that is I added in logic to where as you move through the star field, stars that are at the very edges of it will begin fading into existence rather than just always being there. So if I go and I gas this long enough, and you pay close attention, you'll see stars fading in to existence in the very furthest background. And reorigin. And now we're in negative chord space. And what that's going to allow us to do is to update the star map as we have to, every time we have to reorigin, basically, we'll want to kick off a star map update and allow us to do that. Hopefully, what I'm hoping is like I will add new stuff to the data outside of the range at which it would be visible, right? And so then as you start closing distance with it, it would be faded into visibility, rather than just like popping in and changing everything. But I got to figure out why reorigin only works once. If we were to change this to a lower value, it would become quickly apparent. We'll just do 5 million. Womp womp. This is a good way for us to test the other part. So you notice that like we flipped from 499 to negative 499 and the universe X incremented. That's what we wanted to do. That means we're traveling through our actual conceptual model of the randomization space. Which means that, like, if I were to grab all this data and feed it back in with this new coordinate and generate new stars, I would be generating these stars that exist in outside of the range that I was currently looking at or whatever. So now I'm going to go backwards. Now I'll traverse the y-axis. Just want to make sure all the math works. So 499 to negative 499, and we increment. Okay, that looks good. So let's go up. Applying vertical thrust. Might be applying vertical thrust. I mean, I'll just go straight up. How about this? How about this, motherfucker? So this is good for testing the actual interplay of our transiting the environment coupled with changing the actual like randomization seed by changing the universe coordinate. So Z should ramp up to 499, and then it should flip to negative 499, and we should increment the universe Z. 499, here it comes. Boom. Okay. All that stuff, I'm pretty satisfied that that works. The cool thing here is that we get to, with the way that I've built this now, assuming I can get the rebasing stuff to work. So think about it this way, like when I place my stars, I basically have a grid of space that each star is conceptually, you could think like a standard unit of distance, right? But then we're going to modify that by a randomized coefficient. So if, for instance, here, we can look at it actually, Starfield distance increment. So right now, when I generate my Starfield, this is the actual distance that it places between the individual stars, 1,000,000. But what's cool about this is, so the stars will be around 1,000,000 off from each other, modified by a modified by a floating point number that's randomly generated. So it's not like every million. It's like, but a million is the unit that we're using as our like standard astronomical unit or whatever. So what this allows us to do, it has this very special field, scene units to universe unit. Say a million is too close and we want to traverse the stars slower than moving a million units. What this allows us to do is basically define a range, a size, and the idea here is that every time I travel this much distance in real space, I will have transited a single universe unit, which is our distance between the stars, our average distance between the stars, so a million in this case. So here we have 5 million, and the star map is a million distance between the stars. So what this means is that to actually travel between the stars, even though they're only a million distance from each other, we actually have to travel 5 million units, or say 50 million units. And this is very useful because it means we can peg the star map to the user's position, centered on the user, and we can just always have the star map there, and it can be arbitrarily sized, but we can specify a coefficient that allows us to transit it as if it was much bigger than the game could allow. So say we set it to a million units between stars, and I set the universe unit ratio to 80 million, which is what I will, the most likely value that I'm going to be looking at is 80 million, by like negative 80 million to 80 million in local space for solar system. So if I set that to 80 million, it means my actual star field conceptually, say it's 40 by 40, is actually, even though they're only a million apart, and we can fit 40 by 40 inside of our safe space for large world coordinates, it means that conceptually that star field is 80 times 80 million, which we couldn't fit in the large world coordinates, because after you start passing 88 million. So it means that conceptually that star field is actually 6.4 billion across. So that's our visible space, right? Our visible space is 6.4 billion units. And then as soon as we figure out how to stream in data on the periphery of that as we're transiting it, the visible space is roughly 6.4 billion across, but the total transitable space is the entire size of our galaxy, or our universe. All of this is obviously took a long time to figure out. And now I'm kind of flummoxed by the inability for me to rebase the world origin more than once. I'm not sure why that is. I don't think that I'm necessarily doing anything specifically wrong in my interaction with it here. So I'm just kind of combing Google, and I have some work meetings coming up at 3:30, so I've got about another hour to hunt the internet and see. I think one of my best bets may actually be looking into Endless Runner games, because they have to do this kind of shit. A lot easier because you're only doing it on one axis, but the concept is the same. I mean, it's not a lot easier. It's just copy-paste, right? Like, if you can figure out how to do it on x-axis, you can figure out how to do it on y-axis, you can figure out how to do it on z-axis. It's just copy-paste. It makes it look more complicated, though. More spaghetti. Spaghetti. Spooked ya. Long story short, doing all this complicated math allows us to have a star field that is conceptually much bigger than the actual space that we have to display a star field. This is the logic. I kind of compare it to like the idea of the treadmill in the virtual reality in Rick and Morty, where you're rendering a hologram around people on an omnidirectional treadmill, but you're only rendering the hologram that they can see, and then after you pass out like 10 feet from the hologram, it's not there anymore. But because you're on a treadmill, you can't get out of it. Same thing with this. It's like we're basically treadmilling the stars at some ratio to either increase the speed you transit it or decrease it based on a ratio. So when our player moves, it's not just them moving, it's also the Starfield moving at some relativistic rate to the rate that the player's moving. Yeah, see, he had a star just pop in right there. Also, there's kind of a clear jump when it rehomes, so I'm gonna have to figure that out too. But the first step is being able to do it twice. Okay, let's see. So, must increment existing world origin int vector, otherwise shift only works the first time. Oh yeah, okay, I'm doing that. Call world shift update event we create in BP world spawn. The jump is probably related to me. Okay, yeah, where's my 2x's? Here we go. It'd actually be times 2 . Thinking. I think that the jump we're seeing when the reorigin occurs is because I'm just setting the origin based on 2x of the, like I'm setting the origin to the, no, I think that's right. It's like the world origin shouldn't be related to the player character in this case. The world origin would be like static points in space, right? If I'm at 0, 0 and I go 80 million and I pass that 80 million mark, the 0, 0 origin moves to 160 million. Now I'm at negative 80 million. Transit the space. So I don't think I'm supposed to like use the user's location in any of that logic. I have to figure out how this works. Handle the world shift custom event. Move the BP world spawn actor forward to compensate for having just moved everything backwards as a result of the world origin shift location change. Note that I'm using the exact same truncated vector value say previously. I'm just reading through posts. Oh. Ha. Okay. I know it's wrong. This is correct, but like this is the correct value to increment, but I'm a dingus. I was setting. Okay, look. This is a static value, right? I multiply it by 2, and then I just directly set. But that's not exactly right. It actually needs the corresponding world origin location. Here. And then, so this would be plus... Alright, so basically we want to find... That makes a lot of sense. Because I was resetting it to 20 million every time, you know? Or 80 million or 160 million or whatever. But it needs to increment the existing number. So we update x here. We update x here. I think. Yes. That makes sense. I like it when you figure out a problem and it's like the answer, it makes sense why something was happening. This is why. And this is Z. Now it's gonna work. And finally, one more Z right here. Bam. Okay. I think that'll do it. Let's try it. Actually, let's down this. Let's size this down a bit. Make it a little bit easier to trigger it quickly. Alright, let's see. Is it gonna work? Alright, we start traveling. So obviously there's some issues with the It's resetting the Starfield so that I can't actually transit the space. But we are reorigining properly. I think this conflicts probably with the logic I'm using to move the star map. And also, not only that, like, so you can see how we keep going back to exactly the same position. That's actually good. Because eventually, the intent would be that the star map itself would update its data when you cross that threshold, right? So, like, as I approach 5 million, let's go backwards. Okay, go forward. As I approach 5 million, down, 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 slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Speed up, speed up. So, like, when I hit 5 million here, what also will be happening is all the indexes and such in the star map relative to the user's location would change. So our star field would update, and we would now be offset in our star field by our universe coordinate changing, right? So I think this actually is exactly what it's supposed to do. And we just have to get the updates in place for the star map now. Because like every time, so let's let it pass again. Okay. Oh, I passed 2 there, so I must have hit another axis. But like, let's take a look at the output log here. It'll probably take a while. I can take the user's location off of it now. It might actually be hard to find these. Yeah, let's do this. Get rid of this. Now that it's working the way we expected it to, we don't need that anymore. So you see we incremented local x there. Means we moved into a different square of the like conceptual space of our universe here. I'll start adding y thrust as well. And we can't get out of our star system here because it, like, as this value updates, we have to update the data, right? Because this is where you would be adding more data to the periphery of the data set in the direction you're heading in, dropping data off the butt end of the data set in the direction you're moving away from. So like, think of it like it's a big cube of stars, right? Like a big 3D array of stars. When you cross an edge in any direction, so say I cross the x-axis, then now I need a slice, a 2-dimensional scanned slice on the very end of the array in the direction I'm moving in, and I need to drop a 2-dimensional slice off of the direction I'm moving away from. The good news there, not just that, I also have to update all the indexes of all the values to match like all the XYZ indexes of the new values to match the new user location. There's a lot of stuff to figure out, but I think it's doable for sure. The direction I'm heading in has got me like triggering Y and Z rebases. And like, we're not expecting this to be an event that takes place as frequently. We just have, for debug purposes, it down to a really low threshold here. It would actually be more like 80 million is what we're expecting it to be in the end product, which means you move much slower relative to the Starfield, and this doesn't trigger nearly as much. I head at like a 45-degree angle on all axes, and this should trigger all three at some point. So I think the real challenge is I'm probably going to have to change the data structure I'm using to represent the stars to be, I will probably have to change it to have some way to, probably a map that keeps the XYZ as a key, like the XYZ relative to the player, because the location that the player is will change. I don't want to rescan the whole star set because that's extra time. If I can just update all the indices or come up with some kind of offset math to where I don't have to change the indices of things that I've already changed, that would be ideal. Another thing I could do, change my star scanner to keep track of its block of stars, and then do some sort of check to make sure that it will only try to scan stars if it doesn't already have them. The problem I'm worried about is the actual lookup of an entire 3D data set of stars to see if what you're looking at exists in any of them might actually be slower than just randomizing everything again from scratch. So that's a thing to think about. Okay. Save everything. I mean, one thing that we could do let's see what happens. I think we can rescan completely. So this is going to be, it should update positionally correctly, but we have to scan everything again the way that this is currently working. I don't think that's optimal. I think that it's going to be more likely in a situation where we stream the data in just from the edges, because streaming a single slice of a 3D array is an entire order of magnitude less complex than scanning the entire 3D array. I don't know what just happened with the star map. Head towards this green star. I mean, we'll know when we get it right because it won't jerk around anymore. Okay, there's the load. Oh, did something. It takes too long to load. Obviously, it's got to be multi-threaded on a different thread to calculate this data. I'm going to do, hang on. Let's increase the speed dramatically. 1,000,000 units. It's very fast. Scans everything. Scans everything. Yellow star is right here. I think the problem is that I'm like still transiting. Either that or my logic for the scan isn't correct. Set current coordinate. Okay, I don't think I can just do this like this. I can do this. I can do this. Get rid of the player offset stuff. We're not using it. I'm gonna actually buff this a lot and get some more density so we can really try to see what's going on here. Multi-thread. I have to figure out how to multi-thread this calculation, but okay, start. When is my meeting? 3:35. really don't want it that fast. Hit a rescan. You just reset it. Okay, there should either be in front of me or behind me. Is that the one? Or did I pass it? I am thinking. Let's make sure it's updating properly. Alright, stop. I just want to see the log. Just clear log. 0, 0, 0, 0. Oh, I killed it. Don't do this to me. It is incrementing the x. So, like, theoretically, make that faster. Make this smaller. I wanna see if I can actually change anything here by scanning it over and over. I don't know what happens with the particle system when I re-init it with different values. Eventually I do get away. It's going to be hard to figure out why it does this. I need to get rid of the other logs in here. Find all references, please. No, it's the filter method. Or maybe here. No. Where's the actual print line? Struct as strings, we can probably find it. that's not it. Where's my loop? I'm so confused. So what the fuck is printing all that shit? Oh, I guess it didn't print that shit? I changed the Starfield to be size 10 so we get the quick load and start figuring out what's going wrong. Weird. It's weird that it's rotating it. It's also weird that I'm not progressing through space. Alright, well. We can increase this, get more stars. It's not rotating anymore. What just happened? Yes, it is. Looking at this green star here. Oh, something just happened. Something wrong in my logic. Oh, fuck. Don't have to set these actually. They've already been set. I don't think this will make a difference, but the fuck? Okay. It's like my coordinates are flipped somewhere or something. What about this? Starfield. World rotation. Okay, I think I fixed the flipping. There's obviously still issues here. But the distance, like the stars aren't flipping anymore, right? So that's a step forward. Now I can go to individual stars that I want to see, probably. Go here. Maybe. Or maybe not. Update Niagara real time. I do have a meeting in 10 minutes. What I'm wondering is if, because this is, oh, you know what? Oh my god. Freaking derp. Freaking derp. Needs this. Player coordinate. Right? I think. Gotta make sure I'm making use of it. Also, I want to try breaking this pin now that I have that in place. What the heck is going on with my mouse? Fuck. Just stopped working for a second. Thinking. Subtract the player coordinate from the universe coordinate and multiply it by the offset. Could I do this? Excuse me. Should work, right? I think. That's the thing that was generating the offset strings. Okay, great. We found that. It doesn't appear to have changed anything. Doesn't seem to me that the reset Niagara input. It's so close. I don't think it's resetting the Niagara system. I would expect to see pretty substantially different results if I've moved like 50 units, then it should be a completely different set of stars at that point, which makes me believe that it's just not resetting the system. Update Niagara array. Because the spawn burst. You know what? Trigger. So I believe what's going on, I suspect, is because I have my Niagara is a single spawn. This is a single spawn event right now. Emitter update. Initialize particle. Alright, I got my meeting. Going on mute. Actually, I'm just going to end the stream for the moment because this is a long meeting.